What is up? It is my first YouTube video today. Not expecting anything really of this. This is just for me to go back on. I'm going to put this in my Notion for my trade journal. But I'm going to show you a trade recap today of a 1 to 2 that I caught that I could have had for a 1 to 3 and how I could have done that basically. Here we go. So let's just say I'm back testing this right now. So I'm going to show you what I saw. At this point, this is a 9 p.m. candle from Tuesday. I'm pretty far back, but this low ends up getting taken out in pre-market. I'll just say that. These lows don't get taken out until market open. So we're going to go, and then we have, you know, a 4-hour high, which is right here. We have a 1-hour high on the 1-hour time frame. We have a 30-minute fair value gap, I believe, up here, or yeah, I believe it was a 30-minute. What else did we end up seeing? The 4-hour chart on ES, we had a 4-hour fair value gap. So let me just go into market open now and see what market does from there. We're going to fast forward a little. I believe market makes this high at this point up here. Yeah, there's our high. We'll get to market open here in a minute. Here we go. Just so you guys can understand. I deleted everything off my charts, but you'll see in a second. We have a 30-minute fair value gap get created on the 30-minute time frame, and that's pre-market. We had a 5-minute get created, that's pre-market, and another 5-minute get created, that's pre-market. But you're going to see market open. All right, let's just talk about what we saw in market open. Market opens. By the way, we have news at 8:45. Chicago PMI. Not big. Not a big worry. It's I think it was yellow or orange folder. I think it was yellow. But we had high impact news at 9 a.m. And you'll see how that affected the market and my bias going in. But first thing, we open up market. Immediately rip down. We sweep out liquidity. 8:35. We sweep out these 4-hour lows and that 4-hour low, and then we tap into this 4-hour for value gap. And you'll see once 9 a.m. comes around. Right there. Once 9 a.m. comes around, what do we get right here? This candle, a bullish candle. Why? Because news came out good for the market. It was bullish. So we tap into the 4-hour and the 4-hour time frame, and we're at this point we're pretty fucking bullish. But we need our confluences. We need our confirmation and then our continuation. Well, I can go to the 1 minute at this point. By the way, this is where TJR today ended up getting in on. I believe it was as soon as it retraced into this and rejected out. I think he got in on this candle and wrote it to the 15-minute highs. But on NQ we had 1 hour for value gap starting right here. But he got in on ES. But that's where he got out once we tapped in that 1 hour. I didn't see this, and I didn't. This is an aggressive entry right here, so I did not take it, and I didn't really even notice it because I'm not as experienced as my buddy and then TJR. My buddy took that same trade right here. But what I did end up noticing is, I mean, as soon as we retrace into that, this is our continuation, right? We have our liquidity sweep, open our minds to a reversal, and then we have the 4-hour fair value gap we tap into and immediately push out of because of news. So we're thinking bullish. Then we get a 1-minute fair value gap get created. Market's unbalanced, so it fills orders within there, pushes out, it rejects out of there. And then you could have had your break of structure right here, and I should have entered right here. This is where I should have entered for today. And I would have showed you how that would have looked. I should have entered right here after we broke this and put my stops right here. And what I should have targeted was the 15-minute highs. That would have been the 1 to 2.85. And I could have also had like this been my first TP and then second TP right here to the 5-minute. So that could have been a 1 to 3 today. But I ended up getting a 1 to 2. But funny thing enough, this is not the trade I took. I did not see that either. So what I did end up seeing is we go to the 1 minute. By the way, you're going to see something right here. We break structure at this point. So I didn't get in on this one, but I did get in on this one. And I'll show you what I did once I got in on that one. So like I said, initial break of structure was right here. We break structure, should have gotten in there. I did not see that. Well, what do we end up seeing market do? It creates a 1-minute fair value gap. Immediately fills orders out of there. And that's another continuation. So I had a really late entry for this, and I got in right here because then this is another break of structure. So basically, market's just at this point telling me like, dude, fucking enter lawns. Enter lawns. What are we doing? I didn't see it until this point. So then I enter in right here on these lawns. I target 15-minute highs, and then you'd see that in the 15-minute time frame. And I put my stops to these lows, right at this fair value gap right here. Because if it inverses at this fair value gap after it's already filled orders, bearish order flow. The bullish order flow is invalidated in my opinion. So then we start playing market out, and market starts trending up. What do we end up getting on the 5-minute time frame? Let me just pause this to show you guys. Now is when we start looking back at what did pre-market do. And we had the 5-minute fair value gap up here that pre-market has that it ends up going and touching. We also had a 5-minute right here. Super small. Super small. Size does not matter. It's what lies within. So initially, I'm thinking, oh, by the way, we hit a 5-minute fair value gap right here. So where my stops are initially in this trade is right here. And I don't move it unless I have a reason to move it. So, and I don't mean down, I mean up, like break even. So after we created this 5-minute fair value gap right here, I moved my stops to break even because I was thinking if it inverses this 5-minute, it's invalidating my trade. But I don't want to move it exactly to the fair value gap because if it could go and touch and put a big line through it and then reject out of it, which still means it's probably going up. And you're going to see what we see right there. Oh, let me pause and go back a little actually. This is in the 1 minute. Like I said, it's a 5-minute fair value gap, so we're watching the 5-minute and how it closes on it. Market taps into this 5-minute, fills orders, rejects out. So I'm like, ooh, this could go bad. This could be a loss. And then as you can see right here, this candle leaves a wick that runs right through here. It runs right through it. Good thing I did not have my stops right there. I have my stops right around here. So as you can see, market fills orders within that fair value gap, continues higher. That's giving us our continuation in trend. And then what do we end up seeing right after that? Oh, we're getting some dojis going right now. An inverse. We see an inverse right after that. We inverse this 5 minutes. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, we are taking out this 15-minute high. So I go into the 1 minute time frame. Watching this, and this, like I said, this is the trade I took. As you can see how it plays out. Hits TP. What I should have done, even with this late entry, is had TP1 right here, and then TP2 right here. But I don't want to fucking put it any higher because for all I know, it could tap into the 5-minute, fill orders, reject out, and we could start pushing lower. Well, what does it do? Immediately starts pushing back up. It inverses that, and now market, honestly, it might go and tap into this fair value gap that we have up here as well, which I believe this is the 30-minute fair value gap. It could be going for that 30-minute. Right now we have this huge ass 1 hour fair value gap. But yeah, that was the trade for today. I'm going to get out of replay trading just to show you the setup of what I actually took. I'll go over here, show proof of that. Boom. Like I said, got in, saw the 5-minute, was watching that and how it would react based off of this. It fills orders, pushes higher. Well, first it touches into this, fills orders, pushes lower, fills orders within here, pushes higher, inverses this. So I'm confident that it's going up. And I should have had a TP2 just go to here. But that's okay. That's hindsight now. But yeah, that was really the trade for today. What I really saw was a liquidity sweep, opening my eyes to a reversal. After the liquidity sweep, and that was around 4-hour lows. We swapped 4-hour lows. We tap into a 4-hour fair value gap. News comes out. Okay, what do we see from news? Market starts pushing up. We push out of that 4-hour. So I'm thinking, okay, if I can get a continuation from this, I'm bullish. We get the continuation, but I didn't see it. We get a break of structure on the 1 minute as well. We might have ended up actually getting a 5-minute break of structure as well. Yeah, we even get a 5-minute break of structure right here. We get a 5-minute break of structure there, which I also did not see. So if that would have been at 9:10, yeah, 9:10, I could have gotten in. Where I really should have gotten in was this candle right here, because it broke this. It broke a 5-minute structure, which is even confirming. And even if then, it broke 1 minute. So at this point, like fairly confident this trade goes up. And my initial entry, what I should have ended up taking, like I said, that could have played out to be a, like, look, TP1 here, that's a 1 to 2, TP2 here, it's a 1 to 3, and then, ooh, TP up here, and that's a 1 to 4. I'm trying to see what type of fair value gap this is. Maybe it's a 5 minute, maybe it's a 2 minute. It's got to be a 5 minute. Yeah, and that's another 5 minute fair value gap that we have right here. 5 minute fair value gap, it goes and taps that, and now instead of inversing that, it failed orders and it's rejecting out of. So this could have been a 1 to 4 today, but I ended up only catching a 1 to 2. That's the trade recap for today. The news that we ended up seeing, 8:45, fine, no, that's tomorrow, my bad. The news we ended up seeing was 8:45 Chicago PMI, not a big deal, but still didn't trade because we have news coming in at 9. So when we tapped into that 4 hour fair value gap, we had core PCE price index, and that came out actually greater than forecast is good for currency. It was less. Yeah, it was less. This was greater for currency, good for currency, good for currency. All these candles, and pending home sales was really the big one for all this. It was really the big one, and that's what we gave us that bullish push when we tapped into that 4 hour. As you can see, like I said, down here, tapped in the 4 hour, we push out of it, and now we are probably going to push for a 4 hour. I mean, if this closes, I don't know. Let me look. Yeah, if we inverse this, right, I feel like we're going to push for the 30 minute, and then even possibly then we could go for these highs for today. But yeah, that is the trade for today. Like I said, a 1 to 2. Just make sure. 1 to 2.77. Happy with that. Not upset whatsoever. I'll take that. But yeah, that's the trade recap. If you guys want to take notes or write this shit down, this is really just for me. Peace out. I got shit I gotta go do.